So, we are going to start with our incumbent, Mr. John Ott. 2-minute introduction, sir.
Thank you. My name is John Ott. I certainly want to thank the Chamber and the Tribune for having this forum. I have been in public life for over 30 years, 3 years as an assistant district attorney, 6 years as your elected district attorney, and then over 21 years as the elected Superior Court judge. Since 2005, I've been your chief judge here in the Superior Courts. I've thoroughly enjoyed my job over all these years. I have a very passionate nut about the court system because that is what really touches the people. And I believe firmly that we ought to have an efficient court system, that we get straight to the matters at hand, that we don't waste time in our court system. Wasted time to me is wasted tax dollars, and that's what runs our courts. I believe in fairness to all litigants, that anybody that comes in my courtroom ought to get a fair shake. I don't care if you're the most inarticulate man or woman without an attorney. You ought to get the same standard of justice as the most richest man or woman with the greatest attorney coming in that courtroom. And to achieve that, I question what's going on in my courtroom all the time. Talk to any of the assistant district attorneys, public defenders, talk to any lawyers. They have a hard time in my courtroom because I'm just not sitting up there rubber stamping what they want to do. I want to know why you're doing what you're doing. I want to get to the substance of the matter. I don't want to spend my time in effort on the form. So a lot of times I say, why are you doing this? And if they look back at me and tell me, well, that's the way we always do it. That's just simply not good enough to me. And it irritates some of them because they want to just not be asked. It's vital in our court system that we work closely with the sheriff. I see Sheriff Joe Chapman back there. He does a great job with law enforcement, with the public defender, with the district attorney to push these cases through because you got to. And I work closely with everybody. I urge you to talk to people such as the sheriff or anybody about how my court runs, and I'm running simply on my record of service. Thank you.
Sir, thank you. Ms. Stephanie Lindsey, 2 minutes, ma'am, for opening remarks.
Good morning. I think it goes without saying that we thank everyone for participating in this forum today because this is an opportunity for everyone to be educated about all the candidates that are running for races. My name is Stephanie Lindsey and I'm running for Superior Court Judge. I'll start out by just giving you a brief synopsis of my education. I graduated from Mercer University with a double major in political science and communication. I went and got a master's degree from Georgia College and State University. That master's degree was in public administration with a concentration on government planning. I later went to John Marshall Law School, completed my law school education in 2 years. Really don't need this because I talk about it anyway. In 2 years and started practicing law. Started practicing law the day after I got sworn in to the bar. And I've been practicing law ever since, 13 years as a solo practitioner. Had a partner up until 2008 when he passed away and then went back to the Lindsey firm. And as the Lindsey firm, I've been fighting for justice for people in all areas of practice, be it civil litigation, family law, criminal defense, working for victims who have been victimized by criminals. And what I have found about the court system, what's most important about the court system is that the people need to know that the court system is for them. They have a right to come and present their case, they have a right to present their facts, and they have a right to be heard. They have a right to be respected. And because the court system is so important to address issues, we have to have a judge that is there that understands that the court system is for justice for all, for everybody, not just a small segment of the population, but for everybody. And that's what I stand on. I believe that my vision is the vision of the community, which is that when you have a judge on the bench, you want a judge to be impartial, and that's so important, and I'm going to repeat it, impartial, which means that everybody starts out with a blank slate when they step in the courtroom. And once you start out with that blank slate, you have the duty to present your case, your facts, and that judge up there has a duty to listen. Thank you.
Ma'am, thank you. We're going to move into our questions, and Ms. Lindsey, if you could remain standing, we're going to start with you. What specific qualifications, skills, and experience do you possess that would make you a good Superior Court judge?
And that's a 1-minute question?
Yep.
Okay. It's hard to narrow all of that down to 1 minute. First of all, I've practiced in various areas throughout the state of Georgia in all different court systems. I've practiced in magistrate court, superior court, and the federal courts. What I think that helps me be the best candidate, or at least a good candidate for superior court judge, is my experiences as a litigant or representing litigants in the court system, because I know what's important to the individuals that are presenting their case. I understand that it is important for you to have a judge on that bench that is going to listen to the facts, that's going to be impartial, that's going to engage the community and promote a positive perception of the court system. Individuals that come to court need to know that they're not going to be yelled at, they're not going to be disrespected, they're going to be able to present their case, and they're going to have a judge that is going to listen. And that's important. Other than that, I have an education. I've already told you about that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Mr. John Ott.
Well, I would simply state I have a hard pragmatism about myself, a lot of common sense. I like to cut through the fluff, go straight to the point. Attorneys like to talk a lot, and they like to overemphasize sometimes. We don't have time for that in the court system because of the crushing caseload we've got. So I just urge you to look at my 21 years. I can make promises and tell you all day long what I'm going to do. I don't need to. I am what I am. You talk to the people, you talk to the sheriff, you talk to the deputy, you talk to the court personnel. Anybody who's objective about that court, I run an extremely fair court that's fair to everybody and does not waste time. As I've said, sometimes it seems attorneys get paid by the word they say, how much they talk. We simply, in our court systems, don't have time for that. And I'm sorry if I ruffle feathers, but once I understand what's going on, you don't need to waste any more time on that one. We just need me to make a decision to go on to the next case. That's just the pragmatic way I am and the common sense way I am. Thank you.
Sir, could you please remain standing? Thank you for the next question. Governor Nathan Deal has advocated for routing nonviolent offenders to drug and mental health courts as a way to reduce prison populations and improve. Thank you. What is your opinion on drug and mental health courts for Walton County?
My opinion is that I'm all for anything that can help reduce cost anywhere and help individuals if the state's going to fully fund it. We've already heard the economic problems of our county. If this county can't afford that, then I'm not for a state mandate that mandates us to do something we're already pretty much doing right now. But I know right now we as the 5 judges are looking into operating these mental health courts and drugs courts, and we're already exploratory committees. But again, we need to know exactly what the costs are. We need to get a commitment from our county commissioners that that's something that we can do in this county, in this circuit, before I'm going to mandate something and put it on the backs of the taxpayers of this circuit. I'm not for state mandates. I'm not for federal mandates that come down without being fully funded by the state or the federal government. Now, if the county wants it, then our county commissioners are going to tell us that's okay to do that, and then I'm all for it. Thank you.
Sir, thank you. Ms. Lindsey.
I agree with Judge Odd on those issues, but I think that the drug courts are very crucial. I think that my experiences with the drug courts, and there are drug courts throughout the metro Atlanta area, is that they basically set a precedence to get the cases moved along in a quick fashion, which helps the overcrowding at the jails. If you look at the jail log, most of those individuals that are at the jail are going to be in jail for a drug offense, and I'm not talking about a sale offense, but I'm talking about a personal use offense or a probation violation associated with the drug offense. If the drug and the mental courts are going to promote the deterrence of individuals committing crimes, then yes, I'm all for it. And I'm all for it because also with the drug offenders, you have issues where we put some of these drug offenders that are personal use drug offenders on probation for about 5 years. That's a felony probation. Those individuals cannot, for that time period, be productive in our community, pay taxes in our community, and I think that those services there will help.
Thank you. Last question, and we're going to start with you, ma'am. What is the biggest challenge facing our judicial system, and how would you address this issue if elected?
I would say the biggest challenge that we have is the overcrowding of the jails. And I think that we address that by really looking at these cases that are being presented in our court system. I don't know too many law enforcement agencies or law enforcement between here and Newton County that will say that everybody in jail deserves to be in jail. There are a lot of people that are in our system today that don't need to be sitting at the county jail. We're paying for them to sit there. There are other mechanisms that we can employ to prohibit, or not to prohibit, but to actually diminish the individuals that are sitting there at the jail. So I think that that's one of the main issues that we have. And that goes also to the economy. I think that we need to have in place a system in our court system where we get out those cases of individuals that are sitting in a jail. You have some people that are sitting in jail since 2007. 2008, waiting for their cases to be heard. That's unheard of. You know, we need to address those cases first. We need to every week work with the Sheriff's Department to see who's been sitting there, what we can do to get them out of our system so they can go either to the prison system or get back out there and be productive in our society. Thank you.
Ma'am, thank you. Judge Ott, what is the biggest challenge facing our judicial system, and how would you address this issue if elected?
I agree. It is jail overcrowding. Our economy, we don't have the courtroom space we need in order to do things that we could. We have to be pragmatic again and deal with what we got. We've implemented programs under my leadership and the sheriff's leadership. We do electronic monitoring now to try to get them out of the jail. That was in conjunction with the sheriff's department. We've tried to do weekend confinement, letting them work outside of the jail instead of going into the jail. That's another program we've implemented in my tenure that I was happy to sign off on. I have personally gone down to the jail, the whole court, just to go to the people, go to the jails, and try to help coordinate everybody. We were able to get 19 people out of jail one day by our doing that, my pushing that, and that getting done. It's a constant struggle, but you have to understand you can only deal with the resources we've got, and the economy and the resources do not allow one judge to decide they're just going to hold their own courts. We've got in Newton County 3 courtrooms with 5 judges trying to hold them, and up here we've got 4 courtrooms, 2 criminal, with 5 judges trying to do it. So you have to work in conjunction, and I work well with all the other judges in all these departments. Thank you.
Sir, thank you. We are actually going to give you each 1 minute for your closing remarks, and then certainly you can both head to your next forum. So we're going to start with Ms. Lindsey. Ma'am, 1 minute closing arguments, listen to me. Closing remarks.
You know, a lot of times at this forum, you can't get to the nitty-gritty of what a candidate's position is on the issues. And I have a website, and it's www.stephanielindseyforjudge.com that you can go to find out a lot more information about me, what I stand for, my history, and let me not forget about my family. My husband is here, my children are here to support me, and I thank God for them every day, especially my husband. Also, I'm accessible. You have my number. I've tried to put my number on everything that I have. It's on the internet. You can call me and ask me a question about what I believe in. I've had calls, I've had letters that have come in, and I think that my platform, which is really not a platform because I tell people all the time, I echo what one of the candidates said earlier, I'm not a politician. I'm a concerned citizen. I'm a concerned lawyer. I'm a concerned mother. I'm a concerned wife. I have a concern about our court system. You can call me. You can reach me. I plan to be a judge that will be engaged in the community. I plan to be a judge that's going to use community resources to help the perception of our court system. Thank you.
Ma'am, thank you. Judge Ott?
Thank you. I appreciate Stephanie reminding me about my family. Here's my wife back here, Lisa, my daughter, Izzy, and my stepson, Richard, could not be here today, but they're certainly the foundation of what I am. Again, I'm not making any problem. I doubt you can get anybody up here to claim they're a politician. We're all just people. And I'm going to tell you right now, don't listen to what I say. It's what I've done. How I've worked with the community, how I've worked with the Sheriff's Department, how I've pushed these cases through, how I've been fair and hard working my whole career. And that's what I've always been about. That's what I'm always going to be about. And I certainly can't change now. I don't want to change now. I'm very proud of what I've done in these years. I've handled over 48,000 cases. I've had over 500 jury trials. I've only been reversed 3 times in my criminal trials, 3 times in my civil trials, and 20 times on every other case. That's efficiency. That's knowing the law. That's applying it well and fairly to everybody. And I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of what I've done, and I urge you to vote for me. And even though I said I'm proud, I'm a humble man too. I don't know how you quite get those two together, but I'm humble. Thank you. Bye. We've got to go.
Yes, you do. So, ladies and gentlemen, your two candidates for judge of your Superior Court.